You might as well give us our trophy right now because we're gonna smash that record.
This thing's too far gone.
Sean Whitley, popularly known as Farmtruck from Street Outlaws, No Prep King, is the king of the road. In the history of car racing, Sean Whitley's name remains one of the most revered. Unfortunately, this car legend suffered a tragedy that may bring an end to his career and also ruin his years of success and achievements. What tragedy befell Farmtruck from the Street Outlaws? Get ready to find out. Who is Farmtruck? Sean Farmtruck Whitley, the famous car legend, is not just a man but a big name in the racing industry. Different reports indicate that Sean is highly regarded in the car industry and is loved by many. Sean is a legendary car racer who works at a car customization store. His time at the store proved useful because he is well known for his skills in customizing cars with limited resources. Sean's fame rose after starring in the reality TV show Street Outlaws. The show also marked the beginning of his career on TV. Who was Sean Whitley, and how did he rise to the top? These and many more questions have always been asked by many. It will surprise you to know that Sean had a rough background. He was not born with riches and luxury, but he had one luxury: his parents' love and support. Born on March 26, 1966, Sean had a unique passion for cars. He loved them. His first time at the wheel began with his mother's 1974 Dodge Dart. His mother gladly released the car for him. The Dodge Dart, which had a slant-six engine, was named Betsy, and Sean loved it. He shared, "It was just a good old car that never broke, and it was dependable. Old Betsy. As soon as I got behind the wheel and out of eyesight of the house, I turned it into a race car, even though it was a slant-six. My mom taught me by grabbing my pant leg and pulling my leg off the accelerator because she thought I was going too fast." How hilarious. However, that was Sean Whitley, the young man who had no passion for anything but cars. Later, he moved on to drive his father's 1973 Ford pickup at the Street Outlaws show. Later, in the years that followed, Sean shared his experiences behind the wheel of the Ford pickup. He said, "I was learning to drive a standard 3-on-the-tree 1973 Ford pickup, which would do a hell of a burnout in second gear. That's what happened as soon as I got around the corner. Nah, it was a slant-six. It wouldn't even do a burnout. Needless to say, I was excited to get behind the wheel of the truck. That's what turned me into a truck guy." There were no well-documented records of Sean's education. His life was all about cars and trucks. However, there was a point in his life when Sean had to work and study while he was in high school. He needed the money to help him in actualizing his dreams. To save money through his work-study program, he worked at a foundry that produced manhole covers, fire hydrants, and various castings. Records revealed that his routine was to attend school until noon and then go to work until 5 in the afternoon. Additionally, he worked as a janitor, cleaning and disposing of the garbage. After this, he hauled the items away. Despite his struggles, Sean never stopped pursuing his dreams. He didn't let go. He once shared that he practiced driving around Oklahoma City streets. "Hey, just because we're from Oklahoma doesn't mean we kick turds around all the time," he says. "We have city streets around here. It's suburbia, more or less. I started on residential streets, and then it didn't take me long to get on the highway to see how fast it would go." A little dive into his life shows that Sean grew up about a half-mile away from the iconic Route 66. Let's see what his experiences were like while he was there. It was a rural area out there between the towns of Bethany and Yuko. There was not much going on out there, and that was my first time to take a car out and go 100 miles an hour in it on Route 66. We knew where to go to stretch out a car. You don't want to do that in traffic and at stoplights. We went out in the middle of nowhere. Even when we were kids, we knew what to do. Sean practiced with lots of cars and trucks. However, things changed when he was able to buy his car. It was a great experience for him, and it was obvious when he shared, "The first car I ever bought was a truck, and I went right into the truck world. It was a 1970 Ford 3/4-ton F250 Camper Special, the same year as the farm truck." He added, "It was just an old farm truck. It was a crappy truck, but it was the world to me. I loved it, and it was all I could afford. I couldn't afford to fix it up and do anything to it because I was always fixing things that went wrong and trying to keep it on the road. It needed brakes, it needed carburetor work, it needed motor work, so it was a constant battle and constantly pouring money into it to keep it on the road. After a very long time, he decided to get rid of the Ford. He said, "I couldn't afford a new block for it. It had a cracked block. I just couldn't afford to fix it, and someone came along and offered me some money for it. I needed it at the time, and I sold it." After many experiences on the road, Sean ended up joining Street Outlaws, which became his career breakthrough. While he was with Street Outlaws, he built a strong relationship with AZN, who ultimately became his friend. On many occasions, Sean has shared different scenarios where the two of them had great fun. One such scenario was when he and AZN took a trip from Oklahoma City to go to the recent mega race in Fontana. During the race, they competed against fellow Channel star and Celeb Drive's Aaron Kaufman. The race was a very interesting one and was aired in March on the Discovery Channel. Sean shared, "What made it fun was that AZN and I went together, we built a car, we teamed up with our friends, we built a 1976 Trans Am, and we got to go out there and race it. We got to build a car in 3.5 weeks, and we just had a lot of fun." Sean and AZN's meeting was a blessing in disguise. He shared that he had met him at a street race while he drove his Farmtruck and AZN raced his Chevy 2 Nova. "After we raced, we pulled over and started talking about the race. We just started laughing. Both of us started cracking jokes, and there was some sort of energy between us. There is a 20-year age difference between us, but there was just something that we laughed at a lot about, and we knew immediately that we were going to be best friends." That initial meeting created a great friendship between the two, but it was years before they appeared on Street Outlaws. Later, working together on Street Outlaws strengthened their bond, and they became inseparable. At the very beginning, Sean shared that he never imagined they would gain so much popularity and fame. When talking about Street Outlaws, he said, "It was a dream that we never had. AZN called me up one day and said, 'You are an internet sensation.' And I was like, 'What's the internet sensation thing?' He said, 'It's on the computer. It's a YouTube thing. Everyone loves the Farmtruck. I guess there are a lot of scouts who watch out for videos and cool stuff that's on the internet. There were also a lot of other cool cars on the internet from the 405 Oklahoma City here. There was the Murder Nova. There was great footage of that. I guess somebody wanted to do a show about street racing. They got a hold of us, and that's exactly what they got, a show about street racing, because that's what we do." Even after the two left the show, their partnership and chemistry remained strong. Many media reports revealed that the two friends always try to make each other laugh. Sean once joked that they don't get noticed much ever since they appeared on one of Discovery's top shows. He said, "It hasn't happened yet, we haven't been recognized yet, but we're excited for the day we do get recognized in public." When the show ended its season 9, there were mentions of a rerun until season 10. Later, Farmtruck shared that they were unsure what each season would be like while filming it. He said, "We are fortunate that the seasons that we have had in the past, the viewers have liked them. We are never cocky about any season that we do. We are just going to give it everything that we got, and hopefully the fans will like it." Sean's life started on Street Outlaws. He was one of the early cast members of the series, having been on set since the first episode. When he and AZN started, the two would often go fishing. During the show, many people claimed AZN was the one who hooked the racers while Sean did the driving. Known for being a nitrous junkie, Sean was quite used to fast cars, especially the crazy ones. Before he upgraded to the giant 632 big block Chevy motor, Sean drove his iconic 1970 Chevy long bed truck. Also, for him, street racing was just another way to have fun, and as long as there were wheels on it, he believed anything could be a race car. For a while, AZN and Sean's relationship was misunderstood. Due to their closeness, many people assumed they were dating. The speculations got stronger when Sean refused to reveal any details about his personal life. He never shared with the public whether he was married or had children. With AZN in the picture, many people allowed their imaginations to run wild. Later, the rumors were debunked when it became clear to everyone that the two were just close friends, nothing more. Over the years, Sean has amassed considerable wealth. According to reports, his net worth is estimated to be between $2 million and $3 million. He earned this through his successful career in car customization, street racing, and acting on Street Outlaws. There have been speculations of Sean having other sources of income. Some sources reported that before he started his career on TV, he was already engaged in business and doing well as a businessman in his hometown of Oklahoma. Both he and AZN were rumored to have run the Farmtruck and AZN shop. an automotive studio in Oklahoma City. Additionally, according to various online reviews, their enterprise is a substantial one. In addition to his business, Sean is also rumored to own a street racer merchandise store where he sells a wide range of car-related items, from apparel to posters. The store took off after he became a celebrity on Street Outlaws. His entire life and career have been about cars, so Sean ended up sticking to his car racing career in the end. Ironically, Sean Whitley, behind the scenes, does not love the public interference. He admitted that, behind the scenes, he had no social life. That's shocking, right? I don't drink. I don't do substances. I don't have much of a social life. It's just work, go home and be with family, and this is my release, he says, with more than a hint of pride in his voice. The "this" in his statement meant his 1971 Firebird. Many of his fans claim to have seen the truck circling the track at Western Speedway Oval in Langford. During an interview, Sean opened up on many of his regrets and struggles along the way. Do you want to find out? Keep watching. His regrets. After finishing 4th overall in the Bomber class in 2015, Sean was determined to go back to the driver's seat for the 2016 season and win the season. One of his struggles was that he often felt that he was not good enough. However, all thanks to his passion for sport and his family, which he later revealed to the public, he was able to scale through. According to Sean, his partner Amber Brown, his 12-year-old son Rylan, and his 19-year-old stepdaughter Autumn helped him during the painful seasons of his life. Revealing details about his family surprised everyone who knew Sean, who had loved keeping his family affairs private. His struggles and regrets didn't just start when he was working on Street Outlaws. From his secondary school days at Old Belmont Secondary School, Sean has had to endure a lot. He shared, "I've been wrenching since I graduated. I used to come here all the time in my high school days and I would say, 'One day I'm going to race. One day I'm going to race.'" He continued, "I made some fairly poor decisions in my life with substance dependence. That took me away from life pretty much for 13 years. But August of this year will be 9 years, clean and sober. One of the promises I made to myself, to give myself motivation, was to hit this track hard and give it everything I had. That's where I'm at now." Does it surprise you to hear this about Sean Whitley? Well, don't be. Behind the scenes, Sean is a man who has had to fight many inner demons and struggle a lot. When he expressed his regrets, it was his 4th season of racing, after finishing 6th in the class 2 years prior, followed by 4th the next year. Another major challenge for Sean was with the car he used. He shared one of his ordeals with a car. "The car was a lot of work. It took me about 7/8 of last season to get it where I wanted it to be, but on championship night of last season, I won pretty much every race I went into except for the heat race," he says. "I didn't get a chance to do anything to the car in the off-season. She is where she was last season, and I hope, with everything crossed, that she stays together." After a while, he modified the car with a 355 small block Chevy engine. After numerous practice sessions, the car ran smoothly, and there were noticeable signs of improvement. "I'm one of the only ones out here who runs a 4-speed standard. I find you can control the car better with a standard in it," offers Whitley, who by day works as a mechanic at Vic West Automotive in Esquimalt. When talking about his substance dependence, Sean shared that his career and passion for cars helped him overcome it. Although his unhealthy habit was not widely known, he had fought and ultimately won. He shared, "What took me out at the knees was cocaine. I had no idea I was an addict. I tried it for the first time and I lost everything. The second I attempted it, it was over." Unfortunately for him, while he was battling with overcoming heroin, he switched to a harder core substance after drinking and smoking. When Sean shared this, it broke him. He added, "It didn't help that I had just lost my mom to leukemia. It was a brutal thing watching her deteriorate. All this, according to him, happened 20 years ago, and no one knew. Poor choices came into play, but now I'm back," he insists, joyfully looking ahead to another race season. Now back to his comments about his car. After he broke free from the unhealthy habit, he shared that his Firebird was back on its feet in the jack stands. He added, "I figured I should make it a little brighter because new drivers are coming into the class, and from experience it can get real ugly real fast, and if they can't see your car, there's a good chance you're going to get hit. The Firebird's condition had worsened because it had been left unkempt and untouched for a very long time, which affected its appearance. Sean also shared some of his struggles behind the wheel. In his words, "Racing isn't for the timid." Behind the scenes, while the fans cheered and screamed, he was scared to death at times. He said after sustaining many fractured ribs and plenty of bumps and bruises, "What the spectators see in the stands doesn't do it any justice. This is car number 4 for me, and the first 3 didn't live. It's a lot worse in the car than watching from the stands. Now it's about coming out, turning laps, and relieving stress. It was something I needed to do for myself, and it's been extremely enjoyable." Also, Sean shared that following his dreams robbed him of a normal childhood. For instance, as early as 12 years old, he had started driving his father's truck. For boys his age, this was not normal. This was a time when many of them were busy playing video games and having fun. However, he was busy building his career. Additionally, it was not easy for him to demonstrate to the world that the appearance of a car is not a matter of importance. Sean believed that a car only needs a powerful engine to be active, and that it doesn't need a beautiful appearance. He was able to achieve this and show the world that he could transform anything with wheels into a great race car, but it came at a great cost. Unplanned tragedy. Though many believed that Sean Whitley had everything going smoothly for him, that wasn't the case. He had a tragic experience that affected him for a long time. While working on cars, accidents are inevitable and considered a normal occurrence. However, Sean almost ruined his career due to an accident. It nearly changed his life. One day, Sean Whitley suffered an injury in his right hand, which left a physical and psychological effect on him. Contrary to others' opinion, the accident didn't happen when he was in a car race, but while he was working on his vehicle using a tire machine. The injury affected his right hand so much that he had no choice but to rely on his left hand for support. For a very long time, he had used his left hand for all his daily activities, including handshakes. Some reported that he switched to his left hand to avoid further strain or another injury. However, what many didn't know was that the injury had affected Sean psychologically, and he found it hard to get the trauma out of his mind. This almost affected his career because his fans were unhappy that he used his left hand for handshakes, and they began talking about it. His fans questioned this for a long time, but they eventually grew accustomed to it. Ironically, the handshake became one of the reasons he gained popularity. He was known for being the man who only gave handshakes with his left hand. A medical analysis of Sean's behavior revealed that after the accident, he suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, and this also affected his mental health. Despite being physically healed from the injury, mentally, he was still nursing the injury, and this made him in pain for a very long time. Additionally, seeing machinery and working with equipment that could cause the same injury affected him for a while as well. For this reason, some degree of stiffness was felt in his right hand. This, according to medical experts, was his way of fighting back the pain. Apart from his hand injury, Sean also suffered some other health challenges. One of them was when he had Bell's palsy. The palsy affected him for a long time, and it led to partial facial paralysis. Although there were reports that the palsy didn't affect his hand, it was a tough season for Sean. For others, it may have been normal. However, for him, it felt like the universe was working against him. His tragedy continued when Street Outlaws got into a big mess. Let's see what happened with Street Outlaws. Street Outlaws. Street Outlaws made the headlines for the wrong reason. This nearly ruined everyone connected to the show, including Sean Whitley. According to reports, the television show did not obtain or try to get a Clark County film permit before a fiery crash happened, which took the life of one of their cast members, Ryan Fellows. A county spokesperson shared, "A Clark County film permit was required but not sought. We will have no further comment at this time as the state OSHA is investigating." How did the county know about this? It happened right after the crash. Ryan's demise was a tragic and painful experience for everyone. It happened that while they were filming for Street Outlaws, some mistakes occurred, which caused great havoc. After the whole issue started, the Discovery Channel didn't return a request for comment. Also, Pilgrim Media, which was their production company, was unable to respond because their phone system does not allow for messages. Unfortunately for Street Outlaws, News 3 was investigating the crash and ultimately reached out to Clark County for a copy of the film permit. They wanted to understand what safety precautions may have been specified but were ignored. Through their request, the county discovered and subsequently confirmed to News 3 that no film permit had ever been sought. Things got intense after this was found. The production company, to save it, revealed that it had obtained a permit from the Nevada Department of Transportation. According to them, this permit allowed the company to take over the space and close the roads where filming was taking place. NDOT confirmed this, and News 3 swung into action. Immediately, they placed a public records request to view the document. In response, an NDOT spokesperson stated over the phone that their permit requires the acquisition of all other licenses, including a film permit. Also, the Clark County film permit application required insurance coverage and descriptions of the proposed activities. The permit also demanded a $45 processing fee. All these requirements were not met by Street Outlaws. Not long after all these discoveries were made, Ryan's family filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit, which was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court, claimed gross negligence in a street race held on a Nevada road that led to Ryan's demise. Additionally, the lawsuit mentioned Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Lionsgate Entertainment. According to them, the drag race that took Ryan's life was filmed on a dusty, weather-beaten, rough asphalt roadway in the Las Vegas desert. As stated in the lawsuit, the location didn't meet any of the industry safety standards for drag racing. Also, the defendants allegedly oversaw numerous crashes in the area and had opportunities to move the races, but did not. In a statement to Deadline, a Discovery Channel spokesperson said, "The Street Outlaws family is heartbroken by the accident that led to the tragic demise of Ryan Fellows. We extend our deepest sympathy to Ryan's loved ones as they process this sudden and devastating loss." All these lawsuits and scandals surrounding Street Outlaws have negatively affected the show. However, at the beginning, Street Outlaws was not like that. It was a show loved and cherished by many. Street Outlaws, an American reality television series, premiered on the Discovery Channel on June 10, 2013. The show has 15 seasons in total. In the season premiere, Chuck calls out Flip for his spot on the Oklahoma Street racing list. Nova, Big Chief, and Flip decided to impersonate security guards, and while Chuck was checking his car for some street tests, they busted him. He was scared and believed they were real. Meanwhile, Brandon calls out Farmtruck to try to break onto the list. When the race day came, the tension was intense. Later, fights broke out between the racers, leaving a lasting impact throughout the racing community. With this season's premiere, they managed to capture the attention of their fans. Later, they decided to launch the second season of the show. In the show's Season 2 premiere, Farmtruck and AZN were pitched against one of 4 newbie racers who wanted to get on the top 10 list. Big Chief gets a call-out through an online video from a Texas race club that thinks they can take on the 405's best. They were disappointed because the old state rivalries led to big brawls when Texas racers LMR wanted to change the rules on the OKC guys. Big Chief, on the other hand, strikes a deal with loudmouth racer Freakin' Rican. He allowed him to call out Farmtruck in exchange for bootleg fireworks. There was a shakeup in the middle of the list when Derek gets called out by newcomer Andrade and Chuck gets called out by Barley. Later, Big Chief, Nova, and Chuck spy on a Varley test hit, but when the gold car veers off the road, things go bad. Season 3 started with Big Chief stepping down as racemaster to pursue the list in his twin turbocharged Pontiac. AZN, Farmtruck, and the Dung Beetle have a run-in with the police while testing. During the premiere, Varley's son Tony quits, leaving the team high and dry. Later, Tina drops off the list, leaving an opportunity for new racers and familiar faces to race off in a round-robin style for the covered spot. The track racers from Tulsa, OKC's northern neighbor, called out the 405 with hopes of taking down the fastest street-raced cars in the country. Later, Farmtruck and AZN try to raise money with a junk-purged garage sale, and both Nova and Chuck upgrade to twin turbos in preparation for the races against the Tulsa guys. The show continued to produce more interesting episodes, and people loved it. However, Farmtruck suffered numerous tragedies in the process. What do you think about Sean Whitley's tragedy? Do you think he deserved the suffering and pain he endured? What are your thoughts on the demise of Ryan Fellows? Do you also believe Street Outlaws is to be blamed? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos displayed on your screen.